Okay, so we're at the top of the hour, so we can get started. My name is Samantha. If we haven't met before, I'm on the L&D team, and JC is on the call today too. She's also on L&D, and we wanted to hold these sessions today to have a space for anyone who has questions about GitLab Learn, which is the new learning experience platform that the L&D team launched to GitLab team members on January 11th. So in the agenda, just to go over a few things, there's some links up at the top that link to the platform itself if you haven't seen it yet. There's a welcome video that just kind of gives a quick introduction about what it's all about and just some key points about the platform. And then also a link to the user documentation if you are having issues or questions about navigating the platform. If you have any questions about the platform that you want to ask or about anything about GitLab Learn, how it's being used, anything, you can add it to the agenda. I think what I'll do is kick off the first question, which was in here. We cut our second session really short because no one had any questions, but this one came in late. So I'll answer this one out loud now and give you all time to think of questions if you have them, and if not, then that's fine too. So Greg had two questions, and so Greg's question says, continue learning is emphasized in support, and we often link to external resources in our training issues. It seems this learning platform and LinkedIn Learning courses can help support, simplify our learning paths and augment our training resources. And so there's two questions. Is there a way to view progress and completion of the courses, and how can someone contribute? This, I think, is really important to go over as well, because it's a really great thing. GitLab Learn is really great for teams across GitLab to move any learning content that you have created onto this platform to streamline the learning process and the tracking process. So to answer Greg's first part of the question, yes, we can track learning, so we can track progress and completion. And that's actually something that the L&D team is working on just today, trying to get a better sense of what kind of data we can get about learning done in the platform. So if you have learning that you're delivering to your team, similar to the support team, and you want to track completion or you want to track time spent, those are all things that you can do through GitLab Learn. And then the second part of his question is, how can someone contribute new materials to the learning platform? And the contribution process for GitLab team members is outlined already in the handbook, and it's linked here. There's essentially a learning pathway in GitLab Learn that you will take, and upon completion of that, you have the stamp of approval and badge that you can then go contribute content to the platform. So that learning pathway is really just a way for you to learn how the platform works. It goes through the logistics of uploading and the best practices that we have. So once you complete that, you can contribute content. And then when we launch to the external community, we'll also have a contribution process for community members. Not 100% sure if it's going to be the same or if it's going to be different. We're still kind of hashing that out. So two important things wanted to touch on. Thanks to Greg. He's not here, but thanks for asking. And yeah, I'll turn it over. I know we have a small group, but if there's any questions that you all have about GitLab Learn or anything that's offered in the platform, happy to answer those for you. JC, I'm not sure if there's anything else you wanted to highlight about LinkedIn Learning.
Yeah, if you haven't already activated your license, we have only a certain number of licenses available. So make sure to activate your license. You'll be able to access like any free content on LinkedIn Learning through the GitLab Learn platform. But if you activate a license, you'll be able to access all of the LinkedIn Learning content for free on the GitLab Learn platform. So I think someone was saying if they hadn't activated a license, they went to the course and it was like, you need to pay $24.99 or something for it. But if you go to your email and you find the activation email and activate your account, you won't need to pay. So yeah, thank you.
Great, thanks, JC.
I have a question. This is Nurency, and I'm sorry, I'm not at a place where I can write down my question.
That's okay.
But
you can write it for you.
Great, thank you. I was wondering how this Learn portal differs from anything that we give resellers or channel partners, organizations like that, because I'd like to share learning material with my open source partners. And it sounds like everything is going to be on this portal, but I just wanted to make sure I understood that correctly.
Yeah, you're right. So everything, it will eventually be on this portal. It's not there yet, but eventually this will be like the place for anyone using GitLab to go and learn. We haven't launched to the partner community yet, but they are on the list of people to launch to. So I'm not sure, Nurency, if the open source partners would launch with the partner launch or if that would launch with like the wider community launch. But they will definitely eventually have access to the content that's in this platform.
Okay. Do you know who would decide that? Like, do I need to connect with somebody from the partners team, or is that decided by you all?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can bring it up, or I can invite you to, we have a Slack channel and I'll link it in the docs now, that we use to coordinate the implementation of this platform. I'm just not sure the logistics of what is an OSS partner versus another partner and how that fits in to when they would get access to the platform. But either you can ask in that channel or I can ask in that channel and we can connect with, I think that would be Alvaro, who's over on the partner side, and he would probably have a better idea of, what category that fits into. But then also just to give you a little bit perspective on launch timeline, we're planning to launch, if everything goes smoothly, to the wider community and to customers by the end of February. So even if the open source partners weren't included in the partner launch, they would definitely be included in that wider community launch and would have access by the end of February.
Okay, that's super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. Does anyone, sorry, it's hard for me to type and talk at the same time. Does anyone have any other questions? Or a few people have just joined, so if you have any questions about GitLab Learn, happy to answer them for you.
Oh, I guess I have another question.
Sure.
I know that in the current Learn portal, a lot of our videos or the content there has men in it and no women. And so I wonder if that's something that we're thinking about as we're creating new materials. Again, I don't know if that's part of this team's work or just others, but it's something I've noticed in previous material, and it'd be awesome if we could focus on it in the future.
Yeah, that's a really great call out. I know I can just give you an example from the L&D content. So a few weeks ago, we hosted Mental Health Awareness Week, and we had a learning speaker series with an outside speaker. And I had a conversation with Josh on our team, and he actually brought it up and said, if you want to be the one to do this call, that would be a lot better, because if not, it's going to be like, him, Josh, and our guest speaker, who were two white males and wanted to diversify the conversation. So I think that that's definitely something that's top of mind for L&D as we're creating the content that we're making. I'm not sure how that fits into other teams' plans, but I think that it's a really great call out.
Cool. I wonder if an idea would be in the learning path that people have to take to know how to use the system, if there could be some sort of call out. I don't know if it makes sense, but call out to like keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's really, no, that makes a lot of sense. And actually so I was working on building out some of the admin documentation for how to build a pathway and such in the platform. And one of the things that you have to do when you choose a photo, you have to choose a photo when you upload a pathway. And so I tried to add some best practices in that documentation that remind people to choose photos that represent the diversity that we have at GitLab, to choose photos that represent our values. And there was a few others, like, you know, avoiding photos of big groups because we don't really get together in big groups. We're usually very independent in this work. And so I think that including that in the pathway, if it's not already, I can't remember if it's there, but also adding another step in that pathway that that outlines this and gives examples of how we can make sure that the voices that we're hearing in the platform are representative of our entire community. So thanks for doing that. I will look into the documentation and find a good spot where I can fit that and add it to that pathway.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll try to find the documentation that I have too about the photos. I know that's not the same as who's hosting the learning, but
that still definitely helps. I think that's really big. Yeah. Cool.
Great. Thanks, Nurency. Anyone else have any questions? If not, we can wrap it up. If you do think of questions or you have questions once you get into the platform about how things are working or things that you would like to see, anything at all, you can reach out to the Learning and Development team in our Slack channel. It's just Learning and Development. And so that's the best place to go for support with all things learning, but especially with any questions about LinkedIn Learning or about GitLab Learn. And thank you for all showing up and having this conversation. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all soon.